Today we're gonna make barbacoa. So the prep time of this is gonna be about 20 minutes, and then it's gonna cook all day for about 10 hours. So this is a meal you wanna prep in the morning. You can either use a crock pot or a Dutch oven. I'm gonna use a Dutch oven and keep it in the back of my stove on a really low heat. I love this meal because it's just such a simple thing to prep. And then when you come home, there's just such minimal work to do. And it's something that my entire family enjoys. We had guests over, younger children, and they all ate it and enjoyed it. So I know it's a winning recipe. So let's start. We have this chuck roast, which is probably like it's a pretty cheap piece of meat to get. This is just under 4 pounds for our family of 6. We have beef broth. We're gonna use avocado oil today to sear our meat in. We have our chilies and chipotle, and then our seasoning. So we have cumin, oregano, and some allspice and our bay leaves. The first thing we're gonna do is slice up our chuck roast, and we're gonna remove a lot of the fat. So there's really no simple way to do this. You're just gonna cut into it, and then any of the white pieces right here is the fat, and that's the area you're just gonna kind of take off with your knife and just set it aside. And then over here as well, you can see there's a bit of a bone and fat, and so you're just gonna remove that too. And then it can be about this size. You can cut it even smaller if you want, but as it's cooking for 10 hours, it's all gonna turn into very shredded meat. So the size doesn't really matter. So you're just gonna look around and take off all the little white bits. We're just gonna keep cutting our meat into large chunks and removing all the fat, just trimming it away. And then if you get some meat on it, just try to capture that meat and cut it. Okay, now that all our fat is trimmed and we have these big chunks of beef, we're gonna add salt and pepper, and then I'll add some avocado oil to our pan, and we're gonna sear all the sides. Once it's well seared, we're gonna turn off the heat and just let it sit over there while we make our sauce. So grab our salt, generous amount of salt. We're gonna crack some pepper over this. And then an easy way to transition this over to the other side is I'm gonna get a plate and just slide it underneath it so I can pick it up and bring it to my pan. Okay, let's bring this over to our stove. Okay, we're gonna add probably about 1.5 tablespoons of avocado oil to our pan and let it get really hot, because when you put the meat on it, you really want it to sear and hear that really nice oily, bubbly sound. So my heat is on high, and I'm gonna wait for it to heat. You can just put your hand over it and feel. Right now I don't feel any heat because I just turned it on. So I'm gonna wait like a minute, and then we'll start. And you don't want to overcrowd your meat. You can do this in sections. So I'll probably just add 3 or 4 chunks at a time, sear it on all sides, and then put it back with the other meat, and then until everything's done. All right, now that all my pieces are pretty much seared, I'm gonna add everything back into the Dutch oven right here. And now that all my meat is back in, I'm gonna turn my heat off and let it just sit here while I make our sauce. We're gonna make our sauce now. Our meat has been seared. It's sitting behind us. So we're gonna use chipotle and adobe sauce. We're not gonna use a lot because I'm keeping in mind that kids will be eating this as well. So about 3 chilies is totally fine. So just like we'll add That is about 3 chilies. And with our remaining chilies, we don't want to throw them away, and you can't really save them in this can. So I'm going to put it in a little baggie and then freeze it so that the next time I want to make this meal, I can just pop it out of the freezer and use these chilies. Okay. Okay, next we're going to add about 6 cloves of garlic. So you're just going to open it up. You do not have to chop these because they're all going to get chopped in our food processor. So we will smash them to break them out of their skins. And once they're smashed and free, we'll put them in here with the chilies. So it's 1, 2, 3. I'm going for the larger ones because I love garlic. 4. 5. 1. Okay, 7. So we have 1 1/4 cup of beef broth, and we're going to use just 1/4 cup and blend it together. And then we're going to mix. So we're just going to chop it. Gonna take our mixture and pour it into a bowl. Set that aside. I'm going to remove my bay leaves. These are going to go in at the very end. And right now I want to add our cumin, oregano, and some allspice to this mixture. And the remaining 1 cup of our beef broth. And you're going to just mix it all together. And then some people add limes. I'm going to add apple cider vinegar, and we're adding 1/4 cup. Okay. So just mix that all together again. And once this is done, all we're going to do now is put it on top of our beef, add in our bay leaves, and that's it. You can close it off. Let it cook for the next 10 hours. So just prepare and keep that in mind when you are doing your stuff in the morning. So for me, I actually made this meal yesterday. I did my school drop off. I came home. I prepared everything, and it was so nice at the end of the day to have this like beautiful meat that's falling apart, ready to go. It felt great because we had some friends come over last minute and we had more than enough to share with everyone. We did some cheese quesadillas with the barbacoa meat inside. For me, I did a whole bowl. So I did like rice with the black beans and the meat with fresh limes. And I'll show you how I'm going to prepare it because I have meat left over from yesterday, so I can kind of demonstrate to you how to make it look nice or how to present it to others. And this one we will enjoy tomorrow. So I'm going to pour this over and finish it off. Okay, we're going to pour our sauce all over our meat and add 3 little bay leaves to this. Close it up, and I'm gonna stick mine on the back part of the stove and let it cook there for the rest of the day. It just keeps it out of reach of children, away from my dog. I just feel a little bit more confident leaving the house when it's back here on a very low heat. So if you would rather not leave your home with your heat on, you can definitely do this in a crock pot. So I'm going to show you just a really simple side to make with the barbacoa. This is beans, how our family has made it. We lived in Haiti for many years, and they make a thing called sauce pois, which is just bean sauce. So when I think of beans, I think of really saucy, full of flavor. It just makes such a good side. You can even smush down some of your beans to get even saucier. So all we're going to do is put on our heat. I'm just adding 2 cans of organic black beans. I did not rinse them or drain it. I want to keep that sauce in there. So we're just going to pour that into our pan. And then we're just adding about a tablespoon of salt. And then half a tablespoon of oregano and cumin. Oops, a little bit more. There we go. And then 1 tablespoon of butter to replace any like lard sometimes people put in their beans. And we're just gonna mix that around until it cooks. And now that everything's in here, I'm gonna put my heat to about a medium. Okay, so as I was cooking our beans, I was stirring and smashing down just to get it really nice and thick. For my bowl, I added some thinly sliced radishes, avocado, just simple white rice. You could also do brown rice or none. Our black beans, fresh lime to squeeze over. And that's really it. So this I would serve for the adults. The kids, I would definitely make some like quesadillas to go along with it. But yeah, whatever you do, I hope you enjoy it and that you find this easy and a simple recipe to add to your routine.